Hey guys, welcome again to the course, Become a Master in CSS. This is part 4 of the course. The link to the playlist is in the description below. Go to the playlist and start from the first video if you are new here and want to learn from scratch. It is really a big matter of sorrow that you are not sharing the course at all and also not subscribing to the channel. According to YouTube Studio, 70% of my viewers are not subscribed to this channel. So, I decided not to release the next part until I get 100 subscribers in total and 100 likes under this video. Hopefully, I will get your appreciation this time. Let's jump into today's lesson. I will show you some most used CSS properties today. Actually, there are a lot of CSS properties. It is not possible to show the use of every property one by one. So, I will try to show you the most used properties part by part. I will also give you some references from where you can get all the CSS properties with a short description of those. Before that, let's learn the basics first. Here is a div tag containing a text. I will use as many properties as I can on this part. Give it an ID named div1. Select the div into our CSS with its ID. Let's start with width. Set the width to 90%. That means 90% of the total width of a screen. Now we can also set the height of this div to 100 pixels. Here px means pixels, which is a unit to measure the screen of any digital device. Now let's set the background as antique white. Set color as orange red. Then we can set the font family to any font that is installed to our computer. We can also use external fonts which are not installed into our machine. I will show you later how can we import and use external fonts into our CSS. I am setting the font family to Poppins. Let's set the font size to 40 pixels, which is huge. We can set the font weight to bold or light or anything. But that variant must have to installed into our machine or imported to our CSS with the font family. Take it easy for now. We are just setting bold for now. You are seeing the changes on the browser each time I am adding a new property and saving the file with Ctrl+S. We can set the font style to italic. See the changes instantly. I am also setting the margin top to 20 pixels. All the changes are now in front of you. We can set the color of the text inside the div as anything we want. I am using Visual Code Studio here. So, it is easy to pick up any color of my choice. It is a short note that we can also use margin right and margin bottom. All is well. What margin does it? It just creates a gap between itself and the nearest element of it. We can define how much gap should be created by many units. The most used units are pixels, %, m, and rem. We will cover all the units later on this course. Now let's learn a new property called padding. We can use padding left, padding right, padding top, padding bottom as we did with margin. I am setting the padding top to 30 pixels. What difference are you seeing on the browser? Please pause the video and comment down below. Well, here the padding is creating a gap like a margin. The margin was creating a gap between the div itself and the nearest element of that. But padding is creating the gap between its own border and the element on it. We can use this padding for all 4 sides. Now let me tell you an interesting thing. If we have to set the same value for all 4 sides as margin and padding, we do not have to use the name of the side with margin and padding. Let me clear more with 2 examples. Imagine that you need 20 pixels margin at the 4 sides of this div tag. So, you are maybe thinking that you can use margin left, margin right, margin top, margin bottom all to 20 pixels. Well, it will work fine. But as we are here to become a master of CSS, we will try to use as little code as possible to make a thing happen. Then we can tell us a master in CSS. So, what can we do here to reduce our code more? Well, we can just use the margin property instead of using with its side name. And then we can set the value to 20 pixels. Now let's see on the browser. We can observe the margin top and margin left easily. But as there is no other element on the page, we cannot observe the margins for other 2 sides. So if I press F12 in the keyboard, the developer option will be opened at Chrome browser. Now if I hover over the div tag at the right side, we can see that it is highlighting the total area of that div tag. Now you can easily observe the margin right and the margin bottom there. That means we have reduced 3 lines of our code. You can use the same tricks for padding property. Now let me introduce you 3 more advanced things. Number 1, imagine that you are in a situation when you needs to set the margin top value and the margin bottom value as 20 pixels. I mean, both are same. And the margin left and margin right to 3%. Again they are same. But they are different from the margin top and margin bottom. Now what do you think to do? Have you any idea? If you have, let me know in the comment below before continuing the rest of the video. However, the answer is, we can use only the margin property here like before. We just need to set 2 value here instead of 1 value. Remember that you have to separate those two values with a space. And the first value will be set for margin top and margin bottom. The last value will be set for margin left and margin right. Now I am hovering the div again at the developer tools. You can see the margins with that highlighter on the page. Again, you can use the same technique for the padding. Let's come to the second advanced tricks here. Imagine that you are in a situation when you needs to set different margin values for margin top and margin bottom. But the value for margin left and margin right is same. Let's try to do it in just one line. In that case, you have to set 3 different values in the margin property with a space between them like before we did. But you have to imagine the flow of gravity. I mean, it will be from up to down. The first value is for top side, second value is for left and right side, third one is for the bottom. Now I am hovering the div again at the developer tools. You can see the margins with that highlighter on the page. Again, you can use the same technique for the padding. Now come to the last and most advanced tricks here. Imagine that you are in a situation when you need to set different margin values for different sides. I know you can use all 4 properties. But what if I say you that you can do it by using only the margin property like before? Won't it be more advanced? Well, in that case, you have to set 4 different values in the margin property with a space between them like before we did. But you have to imagine the flow of a clock. I mean, it will be clockwise. The first value is for the top side, the second value is for the right side, the third is for the bottom, and the last one is for the left side. Now I am hovering the div again at the developer tools. You can see the margins with that highlighter on the page. You can use the same technique for padding. If you learned something new in this video, I will appreciate your like and comment on this video. Let's break the part here. In the next part, I will show you 2 important things. One will be how can you create shapes like circles, squares, triangles, rectangles with pure CSS. Also, you will learn how can you set a position for any element on the screen. So, the next part will make you an intermediate level coder in CSS. But remember that I will only release that part if I get 100 subscribers in total and 100 likes on this video. Now let's see when can I release the next part. Thanks in advance for your cooperation.